enable you to get some subsidies, some discounts. And also want to talk about the health insurance marketplace that will begin being operational October 1, where folks can go and really see what their options are based on their zip code here in Maine. Talk about what it means to be a consumer-operated and oriented plan, of which Maine Community Health Options, you'll hear me refer to MCHO, that's us. We are the one here in Maine. And also take some questions at I believe we want to hold questions to the end of the panel, when the panel joins everyone. So that's sort of what we're doing. We'll try really hard, I will try very hard not to use any acronyms at all. Flag me if I do, and we'll make sure that people understand along the way and not wait on that in terms of questions. So this is a really quick run through on the Affordable Care Act, but the reason it was established in March of 2010, President Obama signed the Affordable Care Act, and really the goals were fourfold: to expand health insurance coverage to an additional 32 million people is the goal by 2019, to improve coverage for those who have health insurance but make it feel really like health insurance, a more robust kind of coverage, to improve the quality of health care, and also to control rising health care costs. Change was really needed if people look at the fact that there are over 145,000 uninsured here in Maine. That's not including people who are uninsured or underinsured. Bankruptcies, there are approximately 1,400 in Maine. About 50% at least of bankruptcies have a medical component to them. So some kind of healthcare expense was a piece of that, and in most of those instances, they actually did have health insurance. Gross domestic product healthcare costs are in the state of Maine about 22.4% of our state GDP. It's a little higher than the national, but the idea is really it's a trajectory that is increasing and is not sustainable. So with that in mind, I just want to briefly touch on what has the Affordable Care done so far. That top left quadrant, parents can cover their children until age 26. There's a new 80-20 limit for insurers, which says 80 cents on every dollar you bring in premiums must be paid out in claims. So you may have heard that President Obama has referenced people getting checks from their insurance company. It's because they're holding the insurers to this 80-20 rule and holding them to a higher standard in terms of what they need to pay out in claims as a percentage of what they're taking in. No denial for pre-existing conditions exists today for youth. It will be extended to all of us in January of 2014. Coverage can't be dropped without fraud, so this has been true in Maine for a while, but nationally this is happening now, where if you have made an error or an omission on your insurance application, insurers can't turn around and drop you because of that. It has to be shown that on your application you actually had intent to lie or fraud. Enhanced coverage through these qualified health plans, and we'll talk about what it means to be a qualified health plan and what it really covers. And the establishment of these co-ops, the consumer-operated and oriented plans, which we'll talk about it in some length. Beginning next year, the individual mandate begins. So what does all of that mean? People will need to show that they have health insurance the same way people in Massachusetts have been doing this since 2006. And there will be a penalty for those who don't have insurance. In 2014, it's $95 per adult, $47.50 per child, up to a $285 maximum, or, and this is a big or, 1% of family income, whichever is greater, okay? And those penalties increase with future